Each one of us have tried to look for remedies. We've gone to different astrologers, got some stones, got some sort of remedy. So a living entity can be compared to a rebellious child of a millionaire who wants to have his own business. So he separates himself from the father and loiters here and there on the street looking for some job like polishing the shoes or picking up some garbage. And in time, he forgets his connection with the rich father. In case of the living entity, it is several lifetimes of rebellion. Imagine. But the merciful father, he's always trying in many different ways to connect with the son. By son sending gifts, by coming to him in different disguises, as different incarnations of the Supreme Lord. And once in a while, he sends police officers also to rebuke the boy. The Lord, he's doing all this in an attempt to bring back the suffering child to prosperity and success. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is also looking upon us and trying to give us different circumstances so we can actually revive our relationship with him. So when we become open to look for the Father, everything changes. Similarly, in the Bhagavad-gita, it is stated that to be sure of who is one's father, the best person to ask is the mother. So the mother of human beings is Vedas. So Vedas is what can actually give us the proper remedy to connect back with our original Satchidananda, which basically means we are eternally happy, we are eternally intelligent, and we are eternal. We are not this temporary material body. So the Vedas, they contain a system of astronomy which divides the zodiac into 27 lunar constellations, which are called the nakshatras. So this nakshatra system is highly practical and it's a scientific division of the zodiac because it provides a different constellation for the moon to occupy every day. So it allows for precise observation of the moon's position. As the moon is moving, it moves through different stars. So once it is determined what nakshatra the moon or the other planets have occupied, that specific nakshatra will keep following the sequence. So for example, moon, every 2 days the nakshatra of the moon is changing, and then the nakshatra of the sun is changing every month. So depending on when you're born, you can actually see what was the nakshatra of moon at the time of birth. Moon is the most important of all the planets to determine the mind and the consciousness. But like we mentioned, there are different planetary influences and all the planets are important and we need to have a balance. So nakshatras are constellation of stars. There are 27 nakshatras. And these nakshatras are also divided into 4 padas or charanas or quarters. So basically, 9 consecutive padas fall in one rashi or the zodiacal sign. And the most interesting thing is that Vedic traditions reveals stories about particular star patterns. And there are elaborate stories of each nakshatra and a philosophical interpretation. For example, in Mahabharata and the Puranas, the nakshatras are considered to be the daughters of the creator Daksha, who were given as wives to the moon god, of which Rohini was the favorite. The moon as the moving force was considered to be masculine, and the nakshatras as the places through which he travelled was regarded as feminine. And later, we can actually see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a mention of how Chandra, that is moon god, was cursed by Daksha in connection with these wives. And there are other Puranas also which explain that this happened because Chandra had excessive fondness for Rohini and he caused dissatisfaction among other nakshatra wives. So then the father Daksha, he cursed the moon to suffer from a waning disease. And this curse was later reduced by allowing the moon to wax and wane periodically. Now, Chandra is also identified with the lunar deity Soma. The Soma name also refers to particularly that the juice in the plants. So that makes moon to be the lord of plants and vegetation. Also, moon god is the planet of nourishment. So Chandra is also described as very young, beautiful, fair and two-armed, and he has a club and a lotus. He rides his chariot across the sky at every night. His chariot is pulled by 10 white horses and an antelope. Beautiful descriptions are there, and he's also connected with fertility. He's also called Rajanipati. He's the lord of the night, and he's also Shupukara, one who illuminates the night. He's also called Indu, means the bright drop. So moon being the main planet, we give a lot of importance in Vedic astrology for what nakshatra the moon is in, because moon also represents brain and mind and emotions and sensitivity, softness, imagination, our relationship with the mother, the queen, and the moon's nakshatra also represents the state of mind, the nature of mind and psychological patterns depending on other factors in one's astrological chart. So moon is a very important planet, but you will also be studying about different planets, which nakshatra they are in, and what are the mysteries and what insights you can get about that specific position, because a specific position reveals a specific lesson, a specific thought pattern that you have been creating and carrying, that you have acquired. So what happens when you discover a specific planet and its nakshatra? Because once you study about the planets, you understand what are the function of every planet, and then you recognize what nakshatra is your planet sun is in, what nakshatra is your moon in, what nakshatra is your Mars in. Then you relate to the mysteries of your own karmic patterns. And then what happens is you connect with the specific verse and the description of that specific nakshatra, and that specific verse basically dissolves all the negative karma related to your specific planet's nakshatra, and it will empower all the positive qualities of that specific nakshatra or that specific planet. And personally for me, this has completely changed my life, because there is a strong sense of conscious awareness of what I want to work on, what are my lessons, how do I advance, and so on. So it's not only dependent on somebody, an astrologer, telling you do this, but it's also dependent on understanding your karma, understanding your nature, understanding your planetary influence, understanding the limitations and boundaries of your own karma. Then you can take advantage of the positive energies and work on it to become closer to the Supreme Lord in every way possible, and then make our life a success.